I like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. It's Netflix time. And this series is called The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window. Say that 5 times fast. Episode 1, let's get it. So we start off with this lady by the name of Anna. Apparently she's cooking up some type of casserole. But when she goes to take it out the oven, she don't have no oven mitts on. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Then this little flashback comes, and then it's too hot, and then she ends up dropping the shit. Now you can tell at the back, she's got some serious problems that she would forget to get an oven mitts to get a casserole. But what was that crazy dream sequence? So apparently her husband left her like 3 years ago, and she's basically by herself. Apparently she drinks too much and constantly stares out the window. Sometimes she legitimately speaks with a British accent even though she's not British. Then she sees her neighbor and reminds her she's got to get her daughter Elizabeth ready for school. But when they get to the school, did she drop her off already? What the fuck? Then she ends up talking to this lady named Carol. Now Carol's trying to make sure Anna's good and she sets him up on a date with this dude. Anna says she's going to keep the date. But when Anna goes back home, this guy's working on her mailbox and she finds out she's getting new neighbors. And she's about to crack open the wine and she goes through wine bottles. Look at all those corks in there. Like, really? And let me tell you, she does not fuck around. She fills that shit to the brim. Then she goes on her ex-husband's Instagram page, which still has the same 4 pictures up. By the way, his name is Doug. She was married to Michael Ealy in this bitch? Flashback to their marriage. Well, anyway, she's looking out the window and she actually sees the new neighbors. This man and his daughter. Then while Anna's trying to see what's good, then she gets a phone call from somebody and it has her daughter doing the voicemail. I guess it's her friend named Simone. She's been calling in to check up on her. But the real reason why she's calling because she's got a show that's coming up and she needs one of Anna's paintings. And she knows that Anna stopped painting a while ago, but Simone is hoping that she has some older pieces stashed away in a house somewhere. Then Anna goes in the living room and starts looking at her paintings. They're pretty good. Later on, she's getting ready for a date with Steve. Then she goes in the room and tells Elizabeth she's getting ready for a date. There she is in the room, ain't that special? But wait a minute, how come we didn't see her actually go to school? We didn't hear her throughout the day, and we're just seeing her at night. Okay, so here's the thing. Anna's not talking to nobody right now because Elizabeth is actually dead. She tells herself she forgot about that, but come on. So now we're getting to the heart of the real issue of why her head is completely messed up. So she just gets back in the bathtub. She's like, man, fuck that date. I ain't even going. And considering her mind state, I don't think she would be good company for Steve anyway. And of course, Carol been hitting her up like, come on, what the fuck, man? Carol left a message tripping like, oh my god, I can't believe you stood Scott up. But Anna don't give a fuck. She just erased that shit. Then she heard noises. She got out the tub. What you hearing, Anna? Let us know. What the heck is coming from the attic? So later on, she goes back to sipping wine and she checks on Doug's profile. Hey, he's got somebody else in that picture. Well, bottom line, even if it was somebody new, Anna, he hasn't been with you for 3 years. He could date. Meanwhile, Anna's looking out the window infatuated with the new neighbor. And she just sits back and drinks. Apparently, she drunk herself into a coma because it's the next morning already. She gets a knock at the door, and it's her next door neighbor. He goes by the name of Neil. And he delivered flowers to her door. Come to find out the flowers are really actually from Simone. Giving us a creative, artistic expression. Because she really needs a painting for her project. Look. Then she goes to her daughter Elizabeth's grave. It turns out she actually died at 9 years old. That's sad. When she comes back to the house, Neil's daughter shows up. She goes by the name of Emma. So she's got this like go-kart full of chocolate that she's selling across the street to neighbors. Doing it for her school and whatnot. They bond. Somehow in the conversation, Elizabeth comes up. You know, her daughter. She finds out Emma actually goes to her daughter's old school. Then Emma tells Anna her mom passed away too. Very sad situation, but Anna wants to cheer up by bringing over a casserole tonight. Casserole ready? Hey, get the oven mitts this time, what are you doing? Yeah, she literally almost did it again. But apparently she waited till it cooled down, cause she still carried that shit with her hands. But as she goes halfway across the street, all of a sudden it starts raining. Or she thinks it's raining. She's getting scared, she wants to go back to the house. Next thing you know, she just collapses and falls on the ground. Neil sees what happened, he comes over to get her. And we find out apparently she has some phobia about the rain. Pretty sure it has something to do with her daughter. Conversation opened up and Neil starts telling about what happened to his, Emma's mom. So apparently it was all 3 of them at his lake house. And they didn't really go into details, but apparently his wife ended up drowning in the lake. And Emma saw the whole thing play out. Damn. But when Anna tells Neil that her daughter died, she doesn't really go into any detail. So we still don't know what happened. He's definitely gonna meet up with her again. He sees the paintings of the wall, and to lighten the mood, he lets her know, like, hey, you should really start painting again. I'm pretty sure that's gonna give her the inspiration to give Simone a fucking painting. Later on, she travels into the attic, where it looks like she keeps a lot of her old painting stuff. All of a sudden, a bird flies in and she freaks out. She goes downstairs to take her medication, and she's got a lot of medications. Probably some anxiety pills and a bunch of other stuff. Later on, she's back at the window reading The Woman Across the Lake. Is that an official book? I'm gonna find out. She stares at Neil doing his bike riding routine. Apparently, he saw her looking. Next thing you know, he comes straight by the house and they get that kissing. He gets on the couch and he ends up giving her the business. But it turns out they ain't what really happened. She was out here dreaming. Wet dreaming. So she finally makes it across to the neighbor's house with the casserole intact. And they get that casserole. But they're like, we can't eat it without you, Anna. You gotta stay and eat that casserole with us. So they eat, they having a good time, laughing, chuckling it up. Apparently she was there all day because it's nighttime now. Later on, she ends up putting Emma to bed, and they get their one-on-one time. Sparks flying in the air and whatnot. And she ends up dropping the casserole dish. She don't even care about that shit. They had a good night. She ends up going back home to read. Then she follows Neil on Instagram. She try to make that her new boo. And then it's off the bed. Last thing we see is the attic. What's this ominous music for? What's that about? What's moving around? And that's the first episode for you. It's about 8 episodes, 25 minutes apiece. Now I remember the movie The Woman in the Window. The one that was a psychiatrist towards kids, but then she needed her own psychiatrist. And her phobia was not being able to go outside. So this one's kind of different. Anna's phobia is the rain, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with her daughter Elizabeth dying. They never really explained what kind of occupation she had other than painting. I don't know, I guess I'll find out when I catch the other 7 episodes, so there you go. The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window on Netflix. Check it out. Yeah, that was hard to say. You know what time it is, Slick DZ on the Easy Miss. Big, you got that slogan.